My name's Ellen. I own Pant la Carte. It's a delicatessen outside catering in Pontcanna in Cardiff. My background is actually in education. I have a history degree. I taught as a head of history in secondary schools, and then decided that I love the world of catering. I love food. I like the history of food. First of all, I went in and I did TV and film catering basically for hundreds of people from a lorry, and then ended up in this delicatessen in Pontcanna. I decided to do an advanced business degree simply because I had no experience really. I could run a history department, but running a business is something totally different. And sort of 8 years down the line, I decided, right, the enthusiasm was there and I wanted to learn more. I did the advanced business course simply because it was recommended to me. I had a degree and you needed something basically as a stepping stone, and they told me go for that one. I decided to do it through the medium of Welsh simply because Welsh is my first language. I've taught bilingually, and well, if there's an opportunity out there to take on a course through the medium of Welsh, I think people ought to do so, especially when they're Welsh speakers. If one person does so, it basically opens the field for others to follow suit, and I think that is important. I'd say that the course, in a way, was split into two. I had a personal tutor who would arrive every few weeks. We were given essays which we had to complete at various intervals. In order to do the essays, we had a day's induction when other people who were doing the same course, basically we'd all turn up, we'd have a day there, they'd split the day maybe into 3 sections, looking at the essay subject itself. I then went away, had to do my own research. Now, having decided to do it through the medium of Welsh, obviously there were no Welsh resources on the internet, etc. And it's a course that I love researching. And looking at the models, we looked at things like looking at how people think in business, etc., looking at various theories. I bought loads of books. And I really enjoyed doing the research bit. Turning that into an essay, the only thing I will say is that in business, it has its own language. And like it's unfair to say it, but it is true, in other fields as well, medicine, maths, science, you'll notice that it's easier to undertake those fields through the medium of English. But it's a challenge. It was a fab challenge. Any questions I had, my tutor was always on hand. He was there to do the other elements of the course. We looked at things like communication, marketing, etc. And I think it really opens your mind to sort of a new dimension in a way, from the historical aspects, and then I walked into basically the world of business, and it was great. It was actually quite interesting because when I turned up for the day courses, I was there with people who were basically office-based, and with the various essays, I had to do them after work because obviously this is a working kitchen, working environment, and the essays didn't actually fit in, and the course didn't actually fit in with what I do every single day. But we did things like financial packages, and it was quite interesting because I came back one day and said, right, okay, my intention is to turn the upstairs into a cafe. So I used the information which I'd gathered to do an analysis of the situation and realised the feasibility and non-feasibility really. So as opposed to every day, I'd come in, do the graft, the sort of 7 till 7, work in the deli, then I'd go home and basically complete my essays. Looking back today, the information I learnt and the skills I gained, I can actually put them to work every day, but you don't realise that when you're actually going through the process. Once you finish, somebody will come in and say, for example, even when it's something to do with costing, I'll say, hang on, let's sit down, let's do this in this way, starting point. and think about the stepping stones. Doing it through the medium of Welsh, as I said, you know, the more people who do it through the medium of Welsh, the easier it actually becomes. And getting more and more people to do these sorts of courses, you notice, like I notice, you know, when teaching kids, etc., everything reflects on other things. Now, doing this course through Medium of Welsh will reflect on other courses through T2, through local colleges, you know, through the WJC. It's always a domino effect. So I'd say go do it through the Medium of Welsh. Yes, you might find some, you know, things that will be a hindrance on the way, but at the end of the day, I think it was a great experience for me.